Have you ever looked in the mirror and had that strange feeling, a moment where you ask yourself, who is this person looking back at me? You still feel like the person you were in your 30s or your 40s, deep down inside. But your body seems to be telling a completely different story. A story, perhaps, that you don't feel quite ready to hear. It's a universal feeling, isn't it? And yet, in my 30 years as a family doctor, I've come to realize a rather alarming truth. The greatest fear that comes with aging isn't the wrinkles or the gray hair. No, it's that quiet, creeping feeling of being betrayed. Betrayed by your own body with sudden changes that no one ever warned you about. These shocks, coming out of nowhere, can do more than just surprise you. They can chip away at your confidence, leading to a sense of isolation, and for some, even a quiet state of depression. But I am here today to tell you something crucial. Most of those uncomfortable shocks you might experience in your 70s, they are not signs of disease. They are often the normal parts of the aging process that we, as a society, simply don't talk about openly. And because no one talks about them, they make us feel scared, and they make us feel utterly alone. This isn't just a theory from a textbook. I'm talking about real life. I remember so clearly a patient of mine, a wonderful woman we'll call Carol. She walked into my office one afternoon, not because she was in pain, but because she was deeply confused. And she looked at me and said, "Doctor, I was prepared for my knees to ache and for my steps to get slower. I was not prepared for my hair, my pride and joy, to start thinning. I was not prepared to miss the sound of my grandchild's laughter over the phone." Her story. It's the story of thousands. And that's exactly why I made this video. I'm going to share the 9 aging surprises that hit Carol, and so many of my other patients, the hardest. More importantly, I'll explain in simple terms why they happen. And I'll give you simple, compassionate ways to navigate them, helping you get back that feeling of control and peace of mind. And please, make sure you watch until the very end, because the 9th surprise I'll reveal is all about your energy. It's not just about feeling tired. A silent thief that can steal the joy right out of your golden years. The simple shift in mindset I'll share to reclaim your afternoons could change everything. Welcome. I am Dr. Roberts. Everything I'm about to share with you today is based not on abstract studies, but on decades of clinical observation and heartfelt conversations with hundreds of patients, just like you. Before we dive in, I truly want to know how many of us have faced this. If what I've just described feels familiar, if you've ever had that moment looking in the mirror, please take a second to comment a simple yes below. It helps me know you understand, and more importantly, it shows others in our community that they are not alone. Okay, let's get started. Alright. Let's dive into the first surprise, one that can be deeply personal and often goes unspoken. Surprise number 1. Thinning hair. It often starts subtly. You're brushing your hair one morning, and you notice there's just a little more than usual left in the bristles. Or you catch a glimpse of your scalp in a brightly lit mirror, an area that used to be full. For so many of my patients, this is a profound visual shock, one that can truly shake their self-esteem. Now, from a medical perspective, the reason this happens is quite straightforward. As we age, and especially for women after menopause, our hormonal balance shifts. This can cause hair follicles, the tiny anchors for each strand of hair, to shrink. When they shrink, the hair that grows out is finer, weaker, and its growth cycle becomes shorter. This is why it's not just about hair falling out. It's also about the hair that remains losing its volume and density. But this is about so much more than biology. For so many people, our hair is deeply tied to our identity, our sense of vitality, and for many women, our femininity. To feel like you're losing it can feel like you're losing a part of yourself. This is precisely what my patient Carol experienced. She told me she was famous in her family for having hair so thick, her mother had to buy special shears just to manage it. So, when she saw it thinning in her 70s, she felt completely bewildered. It was a tangible, daily reminder of a change she simply wasn't prepared for. The solution here, I've found, isn't found in expensive, magical potions. It's found in adaptation and grace. The first step is to stop fighting a battle and start a new strategy. Consider a shorter, layered hairstyle, which can create a wonderful illusion of fullness. Explore the world of modern hair toppers. They are remarkably natural-looking and can restore confidence instantly. But most importantly, shift your focus. For every moment of worry about your hair, find a moment of gratitude for the things that remain. So, please, begin today by stopping the habit of counting the hairs in your brush. Instead, look in the mirror and find a feature you love, your kind eyes, your warm smile, and focus on that. Surprise number 2. Hearing loss. The second surprise is one that often creeps in so quietly, you don't notice it until it's already built a wall around you. It's the television volume that keeps inching higher. It's missing the punchline of a joke at a family dinner. It's that constant, frustrating need to say, "What was that?" This isn't just a minor inconvenience. It is a direct barrier to human connection, the very thing we need most as we age. The core reason this happens is quite delicate. Inside our inner ear, we have thousands of microscopic hair cells. Their job is to convert sound vibrations into electrical signals that our brain understands. Over a lifetime of noise and aging, these tiny cells can become damaged or die. And here's the crucial part: they do not grow back. This damage typically affects our ability to hear high-frequency sounds first, which is why the voices of women and children often become the hardest to understand. And this leads to the most dangerous symptom of all: isolation. When you can't follow a conversation, you start to withdraw. You might stop going to social gatherings, or you sit quietly instead of participating. This withdrawal is a serious health risk, one that studies have linked to loneliness and even cognitive decline. I saw this happen with a patient, a gentleman named Frank, whose pride was so strong that he refused to even get his hearing tested. He missed years of his grandchildren's stories. In beautiful contrast, Carol embraced the solution. She told me her first pair of hearing aids that connected to her TV via Bluetooth was, in her words, a life-changing miracle. So please, I urge you, see a hearing test not as a sign of aging, but as an act of empowerment. Modern hearing aids are technological marvels, small, discreet, and powerful. Think of them as glasses for your ears. It's that simple. Let's stop letting pride steal our precious connections. Make that call to schedule a hearing test. It is one of the most important calls for your long-term well-being that you can possibly make. If this story about the real impact of hearing loss surprised you, please let me know by commenting wow below. Surprise number 3. New chapters of love. This next surprise isn't about a physical ailment, but about a profound shift in life's journey that many believe has an age limit. The surprise is finding deep, meaningful love, or even marrying, later in life. So many people I speak with assume that after a certain age, or especially after the loss of a spouse, the book of romance is closed for good. They resign themselves to the idea that companionship is a thing of the past. But as a doctor, I can tell you that our emotional health is just as critical as our physical health. The human need for companionship, for partnership, for love, it simply does not have an expiration date. In fact, the health risks of loneliness are incredibly well documented. The CDC has stated that prolonged social isolation can be as damaging to one's health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It's a staggering statistic. Therefore, opening your heart to a new relationship isn't an indulgence. It's a powerful form of preventative health care. It combats the single greatest emotional threat to seniors: profound loneliness. The story of Carol is a testament to this truth. After being happily married for 25 years, she lost her husband. She could have closed herself off. But instead, she chose to remain open to life. And at age 74, she remarried. She is living proof that the heart's capacity to give and receive love is timeless. Her story reminds us that life can hold beautiful, unexpected chapters if we are brave enough to turn the page. So the solution here is one of mindset. It doesn't mean everyone needs to get married, but it does mean staying open. Open to new friendships. Open to joining a club, a walking group, or a volunteer organization. It's about giving connection a chance to find you. So please, make a small start. The next time you receive a social invitation that your weary mind wants to decline, I encourage you to just say, yes. You never know what beautiful new chapter that one simple word might begin. Surprise number 4. The slow dance of shifting teeth. Alright, here's a subtle one that catches many people completely off guard. You're flossing one night and you notice a new gap. Or you feel your bottom teeth seem a little more crowded than they used to be. Food starts getting trapped in places it never did before. This is the surprise of shifting teeth, a slow, quiet change that can be surprisingly frustrating. Now, what's happening here is a natural consequence of a lifetime of use. Over the decades, the bone in our jaws can gradually lose some of its density. At the same time, the ligaments that hold our teeth so firmly in place can begin to stretch just a little. When you combine that with the millions of tiny pressures from chewing and even your tongue resting against your teeth day after day, the result is a slow, methodical migration. Your teeth are literally on a slow-motion journey. But this isn't just a cosmetic issue. The immediate and relatable symptom is a new challenge with oral hygiene. Those new gaps and crowded spaces become perfect little traps for food particles. And if that food isn't removed, it can lead directly to gum inflammation and gum disease, which is a far more serious health concern that can impact everything from your heart to your blood sugar. My patient Carol was so surprised by this. She had always taken good care of her teeth and couldn't believe they were moving. But her response was brilliant. She didn't just get frustrated, she upgraded her tools. She started using a water flosser, a water pick, after every meal. Her dentist was thrilled, telling her that her gums were in the best shape they'd been in for years. She turned a problem into a health victory. The action here is wonderfully simple and effective. Go out and invest in a water flosser. It's a fantastic tool for anyone, but it is an absolute game changer when your dental landscape starts to change. So let's make a new habit. Turn the act of water flossing into a simple, non-negotiable part of your routine, just like brushing. Your gums will thank you for it for years to come. Surprise number 5. The unwelcome map of varicose veins. Let's talk about something many of us try to hide. Surprise number 5 is the sudden, aggressive appearance of varicose veins. Perhaps you've had a few little spider veins for years, but then, in your 70s, it seems like a network of blue and purple roadways suddenly appears on your legs. They might not hurt, but they can deliver a serious blow to your confidence, influencing what you wear and what you do. The science behind this is all about plumbing and gravity. Our veins have a tough job. They have to carry blood back up to the heart, against gravity. To do this, they have tiny one-way valves that open to let blood through and then snap shut to prevent it from flowing backward. As we age, these little valves can weaken and fail to close properly. When this happens, blood pools in the veins, causing them to stretch, swell, and become visible. Genetics plays a very large role here, so if your mother had them, your chances are much higher. The most common symptom isn't pain, but rather a feeling of self-consciousness. I have had so many female patients tell me they've stopped wearing skirts or dresses, or they avoid going to the beach or the pool. They are essentially letting these veins dictate their lifestyle and steal their joy. Carol, who loves ballroom dancing, was faced with this very problem. But she refused to give up what she loved. She became resourceful, finding beautiful midi-length skirts, discovering special opaque pantyhose that flawlessly cover the veins, and even using body makeup for special occasions. She chose adaptation over resignation. So, if your veins aren't causing pain, swelling, or ulcers, the solution is often about perspective and practical tools, not invasive procedures. If they are painful, it is essential to see your doctor. But if it's purely cosmetic, find your own practical workaround that allows you to live fully. Don't let a few broken valves on the roadmap of your legs stop you from enjoying the journey. Find that one solution, be it a longer skirt or a bit of makeup, that lets you keep doing what you love. If you are learning something valuable for your health, please encourage me by commenting healthy below. Surprise number 6. The lingering embers of hot flashes. This next one often feels like a prank the universe is playing on women. You went through menopause, you endured the hot flashes of your 50s and 60s, and you thought, finally, that's over. And then, in your 70s, you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night, kicking off the covers, drenched in sweat. The surprise isn't the hot flash itself, but the fact that it's still here. The medical reason for this is that for some women, the body's internal thermostat, which is regulated by a part of the brain called the hypothalamus, never quite resets perfectly after the hormonal shifts of menopause. It remains overly sensitive. It can overreact to very minor changes in your core body temperature, triggering the same old response, a sudden wave of heat, flushing, and sweating, designed to cool you down fast. It's an echo of menopause that can linger for decades. The The main symptom this causes is a disruption of sleep. That cycle of throwing the covers off, then getting chilled and pulling them back on, can fragment your sleep all night long. This, in turn, leads to daytime fatigue, irritability, and that feeling of just not being at your best. Many of my female patients, just like Carol, have shared their utter surprise at this. They feel like it's a chapter they should have closed long ago, and its persistence is both physically and emotionally draining. Since this is often a milder, lingering version, the solution isn't about aggressive medical treatments, but about clever adaptation. Create a sleep environment that works for you, not against you. Wear lightweight, breathable pajamas made of cotton, not synthetic fabrics. Sleep with layered bedding, a sheet and a light blanket, so you can easily adjust without disrupting your partner. Keep a glass of ice water and a small fan on your nightstand. These small things can make a huge difference. The call to action is to stop being surprised and frustrated by it. Accept this as a quirky feature of your body's thermostat and build a calm, cool environment to manage it with grace. Surprise number 7. The mystery of weight gain. Here is a surprise that can feel deeply unfair. You're eating the same sensible meals you've been eating for 20 years. You're not indulging any more than usual, but the number on the scale is slowly, stubbornly, creeping up. You find yourself gaining weight, especially around your middle, and you simply cannot understand why. The scientific explanation for this frustrating phenomenon is a two-part process. First, our metabolism, the engine that burns calories for energy, naturally begins to slow down as we get older. Second, starting as early as our 30s, most adults begin to lose muscle mass, a process called sarcopenia. Muscle is metabolically active tissue. It burns calories even when you're at rest. Fat, on the other hand, does not. So, as you lose calorie-burning muscle and your metabolic engine slows, your body simply requires fewer calories to maintain its weight. The same plate of food that was perfect at 50 is now a surplus at 70. This isn't just about vanity or fitting into your clothes. The symptom we worry about in medicine is the accumulation of visceral fat, the type that gathers around your internal organs. This kind of weight gain is directly linked in numerous major studies to an increased risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and other serious health issues. Carol, who had been slim her entire life, was shocked when this started happening to her. It was through a program like Weight Watchers that she learned the crucial lesson. It wasn't just about how much she ate, but what she ate. The solution is to adjust your strategy to match your current metabolism. You cannot eat like you're 40. Shift your focus to nutrient-dense foods, lean proteins, vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. These foods keep you full and nourished with fewer calories. And just as importantly, you must move your body to preserve muscle. You don't need to become a bodybuilder. Simple walking or light resistance exercises are incredibly effective. So, let's stop eating out of habit. Make a conscious choice today to put something on your plate that truly nourishes the 70-year-old body you have now, not the one you had then. Surprise number 8. The paradox of soft nails. Alright, this surprise is a true paradox, one that leaves many of my patients feeling completely baffled. You are diligently taking your calcium supplements to protect your bones from osteopenia or osteoporosis. You're doing the right thing for your skeleton. And yet, you look down at your hands, and your fingernails are soft, peeling, and brittle. They split and break at the slightest provocation. It makes no sense. The reason this happens is that nail health is far more complex than just calcium. While calcium is a component, strong nails also depend heavily on other nutrients like protein, biotin, iron, and good circulation to deliver those nutrients to your fingertips. As we get older, our digestive system can become less efficient at absorbing all the nutrients from our food. So, even if you're eating well, you might not be getting the full benefit. The result is that your bones might be getting the calcium, but your nails are starved for their own unique set of building blocks. This may seem like a small problem, but the symptoms are a constant, low-grade annoyance that interferes with daily life. It's the frustration of not being able to open a can of soda, the snag on a favorite sweater, or the difficulty of buttoning a shirt. It's a small thing that can make you feel fragile. Carol found this particularly confusing because she was so diligent with her calcium. She found that using a topical nail-strengthening product worked for her, which shows that a direct, localized approach can be effective when systemic absorption is a challenge. The solution here is a holistic one. First, look at your diet. Are you getting enough lean protein? Foods like eggs, beans, and fish are excellent for nail health. Second, protect your hands. Wear gloves when you're doing dishes or gardening to shield your nails from harsh chemicals and excessive water. And keep them moisturized, applying lotion to your nails and cuticles. So, let's start thinking of nail care as part of our larger health routine. Treat your nails with the same gentle care you give the rest of your body. Surprise number 9. The overwhelming force of fatigue. And now, for our final surprise, the one I promised you we would tackle. This isn't just feeling a little tired. This is a profound, almost gravitational pull of fatigue, especially after meals. You have a list of things you want to do in the afternoon. Tend to your garden, call a friend, work on a project, but your body seems to have a different plan. It's an overwhelming wave of sleepiness that can feel impossible to fight. What's happening here is a perfect storm of age-related changes. Your metabolism is slower, so your body may be working harder and longer to digest the same meal. Your sleep at night might be less restorative, broken up by bathroom trips or those lingering hot flashes we discussed. All of these factors combine, and the result is that your body's energy reserves are simply lower than they used to be. It needs more frequent opportunities to rest and recover. It is a completely normal, physiological part of the aging process. But the symptom it produces can feel like a thief. It can steal your afternoons, your productivity, and your spontaneity. It can make you feel like your world is shrinking, confined to the hours when you have the most energy. This was the biggest shock for Carol. It wasn't just feeling tired. She described it to me as an unfightable force, a wall of fatigue she would hit after lunch. And this brings us to the simple shift in mindset that I promised you. Here it is: stop fighting it and start planning for it. A short 20 to 30-minute nap after lunch is not a sign of weakness or laziness. It is a brilliant, strategic tool for managing your energy. Think of it as plugging in your phone to recharge. By giving your body the rest it is demanding, you are ensuring you will have a much more pleasant and productive late afternoon and evening. So, the action is this: start scheduling your rest. See that afternoon nap not as a surrender, but as a secret weapon for living a fuller day. So, as we come to the end of our time together, let's go back for a moment. Let's remember my patient Carol, who first walked into my office feeling so confused, so bewildered by the changes happening to her. Today, Carol still has thinning hair. She still wears her hearing aids, and she still needs to be mindful of what she eats. None of those realities magically disappeared, but something fundamental has changed. The confusion is gone. The feeling of being betrayed by her own body, that has been replaced with a sense of understanding. She now sees these changes not as personal failings, but as new chapters in her life story. And because she understands them, she has found clever, graceful ways to adapt to each one. From embracing her modern hearing aids to scheduling her guilt-free afternoon nap, she is no longer a passive victim of aging. She is the confident, proactive author of her own well-being. She has taken back control. And her story reveals the most important lesson I hope you take away today. The core message is this: aging is not a battle to be won. It is a journey to be navigated with wisdom. By understanding what might lie around the corner, and by choosing to meet it not with fear, but with grace and a practical plan, you can continue to live a life filled with dignity, connection, and joy. Knowledge transforms fear into empowerment. As we wrap up, we've explored 9 of these often unspoken surprises. But knowledge is only powerful when we put it into action. So now, I have one important question for you. What is the one commitment you are making to yourself this week after watching this video? It could be as simple as, I will schedule that hearing test, or I will try a new, shorter hairstyle. Maybe it's just, I will allow myself to rest when my body tells me to. Please, share your personal commitment in the comments below. Reading them inspires me, and it will surely inspire others here to take that brave first step. And if you found real value and inspiration in our time together, please show your support by giving this video a like. It truly helps others find this message. To ensure you continue on this journey with us and never miss another video full of life-changing wisdom, hit that subscribe button. It's more than just subscribing. It's joining a community. A community dedicated to living our best lives together. Finally, Think of one person in your life who might need to hear this message today. A friend, a sibling, a neighbor. Please, share it with them. You might just give them the gift of understanding and peace of mind. Thank you for spending your valuable time with me today. Stay healthy, stay wise, and I'll see you in the next video.